on the Couch Cakeside with your host Kyle Delaney for CouchFighter.co. And in this installment, I'd like to break down and predict the upcoming fight between Chael Sonnen and Michael Bisping. Now here's what happens. Mark Munoz is out, and Mark Munoz and Sonnen were obviously supposed to fight on the UFC on Fox card. Lo and behold, Michael Bisping was supposed to fight Damian Maia. Michael Bisping gets the call up to fight Chael Sonnen in a fight that will be absolutely epic. We have really a well-balanced fighter in Michael Bisping, and we have, you could say Chael Sonnen's a well-balanced fighter, but we have a pure wrestler and very tough fighter in Chael Sonnen. Now, not only are these guys going to put on an absolute war in the Octagon, go to war and put on a show, but these guys, there is a week left of time. There's 10 days until these guys are going to square up in the Octagon, and the trash talking will elevate leading up to this fight. It is an interesting matchup stylistically. It's an interesting matchup that will take place in the Octagon. It's also an interesting matchup that will take place outside the Octagon. These two, who are both known as well-known trash talkers, will be interested to see what these two have to say back and forth with each other. So, you know, no bashing to Mark Munoz, but quite frankly, I'm looking forward to this fight more than I was the Munoz-Sonnen fight. So you're going to get a good striker, well-balanced fighter in Michael Bisping and a good wrestler in Chael Sonnen. These two are going to square off in the Octagon come 10 days from now, next Saturday at UFC on Fox. So here's what I'll do. I'll break down the two fighters. I'll do my prediction. First, I'll start with Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping continues to get better. He's been a big force in the middleweight division. He's just never made it to that top-tier fight. He's always been so close to a title shot. He's just never made it there. He hasn't come through in the big fight. And this is one of the biggest fights in his career. This one, they've been guaranteed. If they win, they will face Anderson Silva for the title shot. So this is one of those big fights. Can Michael Bisping come through in the clutch? Michael Bisping's striking, though, he's a very versatile striker. There's a lot of dimensions to his striking. But the guy is training at Wolf Slayer, obviously, and a lot of good boxers there. Michael Bisping is a great boxer. He uses his legs as well, good knees. We saw this in the Jason Mayhem Miller fight. He's got a lot of power in his hands. He throws great combinations as well. He can get in boxing matches with people, and he can pick you apart. He does use the body shot very effectively as well, and he mixes his strikes up. He uses every element. We saw this in plenty of fights, countless times. He uses his hands. He'll throw the knee if he gets too close. He uses his legs to check the range. Michael Bisping's a very smart stand-up fighter. He can dictate the pace. If you give him time, if he gets his time, he will pick you apart. He will pick you apart. That's how smart and how talented of a stand-up fighter he is. He definitely has the stand-up advantage in this. He's a great boxer, and he is very dynamic as a striker, got great power. So he has the stand-up advantage in this fight. Michael Bisping is also very good in the clinch. He is able to throw knees and elbows. He does dirty box when he wants to. And also, regards to Michael Bisping's power, he has 14 knockouts on his resume. Very impressive numbers for the middleweight division, also fighting at light heavyweight when he did. But he's got 14 knockouts on his resume. That's very, very impressive. He does have the power in this one. In regards to the clinch, very, very formidable opponent in the clinch. His wrestling is very underrated, I'd say, mostly. People are saying, oh, Sonnen's going to destroy him. Michael Bisping's a good wrestler. Let's just be clear on that one. He's a very strong guy. He's got a very good frame. He is a good wrestler, and his takedown defense is going to be the biggest factor in this fight. Can his takedown defense, can he handle the takedowns of Chael Sonnen? Can he get away from them and avoid the takedown? Personally, I think the biggest and most important thing in this fight, the X factor, is going to be the knees that he throws to try and keep Sonnen away. It's going to be, one, his distance, and two, the knees he throws to check Chael Sonnen's takedowns. So his wrestling, he's more than capable of avoiding the takedowns in this fight. But then again, you have to bring up the points that he's never faced a wrestler like Chael Sonnen at middleweight. He's fought good fighters, but he has not fought a wrestler that is the caliber that Chael Sonnen is. Chael Sonnen is one of the best wrestlers in MMA. That's a fact. Very few people, even the most skilled grapplers, cannot hang with Chael Sonnen. He will out-wrestle you. He is one of the best in the game. But in regards to Bisping, if it does get to the ground, he's very capable of submitting fighters. He has a good submission game. He does have 4 submissions to his resume. So he is capable of submitting fighters. I don't see him submitting Chael Sonnen in this fight. So Michael Bisping, balanced fighter, all of the above. And here's the thing, okay? We'll talk strengths and weakness. His strength in this fight, he is the better stand-up fighter, most definitely. He is the better boxer. He's the more refined striker. He's the more dynamic and versatile striker in this fight. No doubt about it. And I'd say he does have more punching power than Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen's not a knockout artist. Michael Bisping can knock guys out, even though he hasn't done it a lot recently. Weaknesses. Okay, some weaknesses in this fight is that he's never He's fought a lot of good fighters, but he has never fought a guy who, one, is a wrestler like Chael Sonnen in middleweight. He's never fought a guy who fights at a pace like Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen operates and fights at a very high-octane pace. So it'll be interesting to see if Michael Bisping can handle Chael Sonnen's pace. That's what I got for Michael Bisping. Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen is one of the best wrestlers in MMA, hands down. And what is this the thing? People think Chael Sonnen, wrestler, pure wrestler. He is, but the thing is, his boxing is very overlooked. He is a very underrated boxer. His boxing is actually very, very exceptional when it comes to fighting. Now, I'm going to refer back to the Anderson Silva fight and plenty of other fights, the Yushin Okami fight. His boxing helps set up his unbelievable takedown ability. His boxing has very, very quick hands. Chael Sonnen's got great speed in his hands. And just remember, okay, people could bash Sonnen's striking all they want, but let's go back to the first round and multiple rounds in the Anderson Silva fight. He outboxed Anderson Silva. Plain and simple. He caught Anderson Silva in that first round, and he sent him down with his takedown ability. It helped set up his takedown. So his hands are overlooked. He can throw combos, but he will not be able to outbox Michael Bisping. If anything, his hands will set up his takedown. So like I said, once he uses his hands and he circles, Chael Sonnen sets up with some of the best double and single leg takedowns in the game. Hands down, if Chael Sonnen gets a hold of you. This is his background in Greco-Roman wrestling. Like I say, Greco-Roman guys, if they get a hold of you, you're going down to the mat. And Chael Sonnen will slam you, and he will take advantage of you. So if he gets you in the clinch, or if he gets a piece of you, he gets a hold of your leg, you're going down to the mat. His takedown attempts are very successful, very high percentage of successful takedown attempts. Once Chael Sonnen gets you to the ground, that's exactly where he wants you to be. Chael Sonnen has a very good ability of dictating the pace in fights. Once he gets you down to the ground, he is going to continuously work. He does not give you a chance to rest. He has a great ability of controlling his opponents on the mat. Once you're on the ground with Chael Sonnen, he's going to roll with you, and he's going to beat you down. He is not going to give you that moment to rest. He's going to throw hands. He's going to posture up. He's going to come down with the heavy strikes. Elbows, he does not give you a chance to rest, even putting his hand in your face. To give you no chance to rest at all. He really tests your cardio. He tests your will. He tries to break your will. So Chael Sonnen, very exceptional on the ground. Regards to submission, not the best. Okay, he's still learning. You know, Matt Lindland just got a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, who helps him train at Team Quest, the head honcho over at Team Quest. Sonnen will continue to get better at BJJ and submitting fighters. We saw it in the Brian Stan fight with his last submission victory. We'll say the submissions come a long way. He's not the better submission fighter than Michael Bisping, but learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will help him defend the submissions if that's what Michael Bisping is planning to do. Remember, Michael Bisping was preparing to fight Damian Maia, feared submission guy. So Michael Bisping will be ready for submissions, and he will be ready to throw submissions as well, to put forth submissions. So regardless of strengths and weaknesses for Chael Sonnen, strengths in this fight, most definitely his wrestling ability. Also, I'd say, I mean, Bisping's known for his cardio, but Chael Sonnen has the better cardio. He fights at the better pace. He can throw Bisping out of his comfort zone. Regarding the weaknesses, Chael Sonnen is not the better submission fighter in this fight, and he is not the better stand-up fighter. He does not want to get in a boxing match with Michael Bisping. So that's what I got for them. Both guys have very good shins as well. Just like to throw that one in there. Chael Sonnen looks like he's been put through the meat grinder every time he fights, and Michael Bisping has only been finished once, and that was by Dan Henderson, who had knockout of the century against him. So that's what I have for the two fighters. In regards to the fight prediction, I see this one being a very back-and-forth fight. Not back and forth. I mean, I see this one being back and forth, being on the ground and standing up. But when it comes down to it, okay, Michael Bisping is not the grappler that Chael Sonnen is. Now, he will try and keep this one standing. If he is successful in this fight, he will try and keep this fight standing. His takedown defense will be successful in the beginning, but I see Chael Sonnen really dictating the pace of this fight and getting Michael Bisping down to the ground and beating him down. Bisping will throw his submission attempts, but I think Chael Sonnen will be a step ahead of him in this fight, and I think he will, in the end, edge out a decision and beat down Michael Bisping and inch one step closer to that title fight and that rematch with Anderson Silva. So I'm going to take Chael Sonnen by decision against Michael Bisping, and that's just the thing, is that when it comes down to a battle, if we're going to war, any fighter's going to go to war, the fighter that's going to come out on the edge, I'm going to take Chael Sonnen. He's the tougher fighter. He's going to out-tough Michael Bisping. He's going to out-wrestle Michael Bisping, and that's how it's going to happen, in my honest opinion. That's not bashing Michael Bisping. He will land on his feet. He's still a very skilled fighter in the middleweight division. So I'll take Chael Sonnen by decision, UFC on Fox card in 10 days, next Saturday. So this is Kyle Delaney signing off for the Cage Side Couch.